The way cannot be told. The name cannot be named. The nameless is the way of heaven and earth. The named is matrix of the myriad creatures. Eliminate desire to find the way. Embrace desire to know the creature. The two are identical, but differ in name as they arise. Identical, they are called mysterious. Mystery on mystery, the gate of many secrets. The world knows beauty as beauty, so there is then ugliness. The world knows good as good, so there is then the bad. As is and is not create each other. The hard and the easy find each other. The long and short delimit each other. The high and low depend on each other. Voice and music harmonizes with each other. Last and next follow each other. So the wise adhere to action through non-action and communicate the teaching without words. From the way come the myriad creatures. Yet it imposes no authority. It gives them life without possession. It benefits them, but asks no thanks. It does its work, but claims no merit. Because it claims no merit, merit is never lacking in it. Don't give honors to the worthy. Protect people from ambition. Don't value scarce things. Protect people from envy. Don't show what's desired. Keep people from temptation. So in governing the wise, empty the mind, but fill the stomach. Weaken ambition, but strengthen the bones. Keep things free of desire and learning. So the clever take no action. Act without taking action, and things will be in their order. The way is full. Use won't empty it. Deep is the matrix of the myriad creatures. Blunt the sharp, loosen the knots, dim the glare. Follow old tracks. Shadowy it seems, hardly there. I don't know whose child it is. It seems like the ancestral form. Heaven and earth are ruthless, trampling the myriad creatures like straw dogs. The wise are ruthless, considering the people as straw dogs. The space between earth and heaven isn't like a bellows. It's empty, but never exhausted. So isn't it like a bellows? The more it works, the more it flows out. Much speed leads in the end to silence. Better to hold fast the void. The spirit of the valley never dies. It is called a mysterious female. The gate of the mysterious female is called the root of heaven and earth. Barely seen, it hardly seems there. Yet use will never exhaust it. Heaven and earth endure by not endowing themselves with life. Then they can be long-lived, so the wise place self last, and it comes first. Call it other than themselves, and it persists, not by thinking of itself. The personal goal is achieved. The highest virtue is like water, since water keeps the myriad creatures and settles without contention. Where no one wishes to live, it is near to the way. In a house, position matters. The mental quality, depth matters. In friends, kindness matters. In speaking, honesty matters. In government, order matters. In transaction, ability matters. In action, promptness matters. By not contending, it never errs. Rather than filling it over full, better to stop in time. Sharpen it to a point. The edge won't last forever. Gold and jade may fill the house, but no one can retain them. Boasting of wealth and virtue brings trouble on oneself. Reticence, when the job is done, is the way of heaven. Carrying your spiritual body on your head, you can embrace the one and not let go. Concentrating the breath, you can become supple as a child. Can you polish the mysterious mirror and leave no mark? Can you love the people and rule the state without indulging in action? When the gate of heaven opens and closes, can you keep the female role? When your mind penetrates the four directions, are you able to know nothing? It gives them life and nurtures. It gives them life without permission. It benefits them, but asks no thanks. It holds, but imposes no authority. Such is the mysterious virtue. 30 spokes round one hub. Employ the nothing inside, and you can use a cart. Need the clay to make a pot. Employ the nothing inside, and you can use a pot. Cut out doors and windows. Employ the nothing inside, and you can use a room. What is achieved is something. By employing nothing, it can be used. The 5 colors blind us. The 5 notes deafen us. The 5 tastes deaden us. Pursuing and catching disturb the mind. Wanting scarce things delays our progress. So the wise are for the stomach and not the eye. Take the one, leave the other. Favor and loss of it both disturb us. Rank and body are both a problem. What's meant by favor and loss of it both disturb us. Favor disturbs the subject when it is given, as much as it does when it is taken away. That's what is meant by favor and loss of it both disturb us. What's meant by rank and body are both a problem. I've problems because I have a body. When I no body, there's no problem. Who values the body even more than the empire? Can be trusted with the empire. Who loves the body even more than the empire? Can it be custodian of the empire? What cannot be seen is called indistinguishable. What cannot be heard is called indistinct. What cannot be touched is called indefinite. The three can't be comprehended. So there's confused and considerate one. Its surface is not brilliant. Its depths are not obscured. Dimly seen, it can be named. So return to the insubstantial. This is the shapeless shape, the form without substance. This is called blurred and shadowy. Approach it, you can see its face. Follow it, you can see its back. Hold fast to the ancient way in order to control the present. Knowing the source of the ancient is the thread that runs through the way. He who knows the way of old was delicately, subtle, mysteriously knowing, too deep to be understood. Because he could not be understood. He can only be vaguely described, tentative, as if crossing a rushing river, alert, as if afraid of his neighbors, stiff like a guest, fluid like thawing ice, dense like the uncarved block, empty like the valley, turbid like muddy water. Who can be turbid, yet gradually clear? Who can be still, yet gradually stir into life? One who holds fast the way does not desire completeness. Because they do not desire completeness, they can be worn and not renewed. I try my best to achieve emptiness, to hold firmly to stillness. The myriad creatures rise together, and I watch them return. The myriad things flourish, and each returns to its root, returning to the root in silence. Silence is returning to being. Returning to being is knowing the constant. Knowing the constant is enlightenment. Acting without knowing the constant is harmful. Acting while knowing the constant is balance. Balance leads to nobility. Nobility to what is above. What is above to the way to the eternal. To the end of life, there is no danger. The greatest ruler is one they know from of old. The next is one they love and praise. The next is one they fear. The next is one they despise. Where there is lack of faith, there is lack of respect. Employ reticence and care with words. When the work is done, the task complete, the people will say, "It just happened." When the great way is lost, there is benevolence and rectitude. When cleverness appears, there is great ritual. When the family is not harmonious, there is filial piety. When the state is in chaos, there are loyal ministers. Eliminate the sage. Forget wisdom. People will be 100 times better off. Eliminate benevolence. Forget rectitude, and people will have filial piety. Eliminate cleverness. Forget profit, and there be less thieves and rogues. Superficial things are insufficient. What is needed is all-embracing. Exhibit the unadorned. Hold fast to the uncarved block. Avoid the thought of self and eliminate desire. Eliminate learning, and there's no worry. Between yes and no, what's the difference? What separates good and bad? But one must respect what others respect. The people are happy, as if at a marvelous feast, are going on a spring outing, only I unmoved and silent, abandoned to disorder without limit, like a baby that's not yet smiled, aimless, like one of the homeless. The people have all they want. It's only me that it's in need. My mind's ignorance so dull. Yes, the crowd are clear-minded. It's only me that's muddled. Yet the crowd are all-knowing. Only from me it's hidden, leveled flat like the ocean. Like an endless wind blowing, everyone has a purpose. It's only me that's raw and foolish. I'm different from the others. I like being fed by the mother. Great virtue follows the way, and the way alone. How shadowy, how indistinct, within it is the form. How shadowy, how indistinct, within it is the thing. How dim, how dark. Within it is the substance. The substance is perfectly real. Within it, it can be tested. From present to ancient times, its name was never lost. So we can investigate the origin of all. How do I know the origins of all that are? By means of this. Bowed down and so preserved, bent and then straightened, hollowed then filled, worn away then renewed. From the few achievement, from the many confusion. So the wise grasps the one and becomes a pattern for all, not shown, therefore apparent, not asserted, therefore known, not boasted of, therefore worth, not contentious, so enduring. It's because the wise do not contend that no one can contend with them. When the ancients said, bow down, and so preserved, that was no empty saying. It allows one to be preserved to the end. To speak infrequently is natural, so a strong wind won't last all morning. A downpour won't last all day. What causes these heaven and earth, if even heaven and earth must rest? How much more so human beings? Therefore, align yourself to the way. Aligned with the way, you are one with the way. Aligned with virtue, you are one with virtue. Aligned with the heavens, you are one with the heavens. The way accepts this alignment gladly. Virtue accepts this alignment gladly. The heavens accept this alignment gladly. Where there is lack of faith, there is a lack of respect. On tiptoes, you can't stand. Straddled, you can't walk. Shown, therefore, not apparent. Asserted, therefore, not known. Boasted of, therefore, not of worth. Contentious, so not enduring. The way calls these excess food and useless waste. As things dislike them, those of the way do not employ them. There is something formed of chaos, born from heaven and earth, silent and void. It is not renewed. It goes on forever without failing. It can be seen as the world mother. I don't know its name, so I have to call it the way. I have to label it as the great. Being great implies a distancing. Distancing implies far off. Being far off implies returning. So the way is great. Heaven is great. Earth is great. The ruler is great. Within the realm of four things are great. And the ruler is one. The ruler reflects the earth. Earth reflects the heavens. The heavens reflect the way. The way reflects what is. Heaviness is the root of lightness. The still is ruler of the turbulent. So the nobleman travels all day without losing sight of the heavy wagons. When he's secure behind walls and towers, then he's at rest without trouble. How can a ruler of 10,000 chariots treat the people lightly with his thoughts? In lightness, the root is lost. In turbulence, the ruler is lost. Expert traveling leaves no track. Expert speaking is free of faults. Expert counting uses no beads. Expert closing stays shut without locks. Expert trying is firm without knots. So the wise are expert in utilizing people and discard no one. Expert in utilizing things and discarding nothing. This is called the application of knowledge. So the wise are teachers, and the ignorant learn from. And the ignorant are material for the wise. Not to value the teacher, not to love the material, though it seems clever, reveals confusion. This is called the essential secret. Know the masculine, but keep to the feminine, and be a valley to the realm. If you are a valley to the realm, then constant virtue won't leave you. And you will return to infancy. Know the bright, but keep to the shadows, and be a pattern for the realm. If you are a pattern for the realm, then constant virtue will not be lacking, and you will return to the unlimited. Know the glorious, but keep to the humble, and be a valley to the realm. If you are a valley to the realm, then constant virtue will be complete, and you will return to the uncarved block. The uncarved block is cut into vessels. Wise men use them as rulers of vessels. The great cutter does not cut away. Whoever takes hold of the realm and wants to manipulate it will have no peace. The realm is a sacred vessel that should not be interfered with. Whoever touches it will spoil it. Whoever grasps it will lose it. Some lead and some follow. Some breathe easily, some breathe hard. Some are strong and some are weak. Some destroy, some are destroyed. So the wise avoid excess, avoid the pompous and the arrogant. Ruling the people by names of the way does not involve awing the realm with force. That's likely to come full circle. Where the general camped, there are brambles grow. In the wake of the great army, bad harvests inevitably grow. The good man aims at ending war, and doing so fears to intimidate. Achieve the aim, but don't boast. Achieve the aim without displaying. Achieve the aim without arrogance. Achieve the aim, but don't assert it. Achieve the aim, but don't imitate. The creature that ignores what exists from of old is described as going against the way. What goes against the way will come to a swift end. Since weapons are instruments of evil, and people detest them, the wise man can't stand their use. A gentleman in his house makes the left the place of honor. In military manner, the right is the place of honor. Since weapons are instruments of evil, they are not the instruments of the gentleman. what he is forced to use them, he does so without savoring it. Victory is not glorious. Those for whom it is glorious delight in killing human beings. Those who delight in killing human beings will never control the realm. The left takes precedence on joyous occasions. The right takes precedence on sad occasions. A lieutenant place is on the left. A general's place is on the right. Mourning rites are observed when there are mounds of dead. One should weep with sorrow when one is victorious. Observe the mourning rites. The way has no name. The uncarved block is small, but no one dares to claim it. If the rulers could accept this, the myriad creatures would submit of themselves. Heaven and earth would unite, and the sweet dew would fall. The people could be dealt with without the making of laws. When it is carved, there are names. When there are names, it is time to stop. Knowing when to stop keeps one from danger. The world's relation to the way is like rills and streams to the river and sea. One who understands others is clever. One who understands the self is enlightened. One who conquers others is forceful. One who conquers self is strong. One who can be content is rich. One who can act with purpose has will. One who doesn't lose place endures. One who dies without loss has lived a life. The way is broad like a river. How can it be deflected to left or right? The myriad creatures depend on it for life, yet it imposes no authority. It does its work but claims no merit. It feeds and clothes the people without claiming to rule them. Free of desires, it can be called small. Yet as the myriad creatures turn to it, and it does not claim to rule them, it can be called great, because it never regards itself as great. It is capable of being great. Hold on to the great image, and people will traveling along without harm. They will exist in peace. Music and food tempt the passerby to stop. The way passes into the mouth without any flavor. Look, and it cannot be seen. Listen, and it cannot be heard, yet it cannot be exhausted. In order to shrink it, it has to be stretched. In order to weaken it, it has to be strong. In order to raise it, you have to build it. In order to take from it, you have to give to it. This is called subtle understanding. The soft and gentle conquers the hard and violent. The fish should not abandon the depths. The state, rewards, and punishment should not be open to everyone. The way is always in action, but nothing is left undone. If the rulers could realize it, the people would be themselves transformed. If being transformed, they show desire, I restrain it by means of the uncarved block. The nameless, uncarved block is freedom from desire. Without desire, they are calm, and the realm is of itself at peace. The highest virtue doesn't practice virtue. That's why it is virtuous. The lowest virtue is always virtuous. That's why it has no virtue. The highest virtue is in action, but nothing is left undone. The lowest virtue is action, but things are always left undone. Benevolence is acting, but without ulterior motives. Rectitude is acting, but with ulterior motives. Those steeped in the rights act, and when no one responds, they roll up their sleeves and resort to threats. So when the way was lost, there was virtue. When virtue was lost, there was benevolence. When benevolence was lost, there was rectitude. When rectitude was lost, there were the rights. The rights are only the semblance of loyalty and sincerity, and a source of disorder. The seer is a flowery decoration obscuring the way, and a source of foolishness. So the wise live in the substance and not in the semblance, in the fruit and not in the flower. They take the one and leave the other. Of old these possess oneness. Heaven, because of the one, is clear. Earth, because of the one, is firm. Powers, because of the one, have force. Valleys, because of the one, are filled. People, because of the one, subsist. Rulers, because of the one, can govern. The one creates these effects. If heaven was not clear, it might shatter. If earth was not firm, it might subside. If powers had no force, they might be exhausted. If the valley was not filled, it might run dry. If people lacked substance, they might perish. If rulers could not govern, they might fall. So the superior has the inferior as root. The higher has the lower at its base. So rulers call themselves abandoned, humble, and unfortunate. Is this not making and taking the inferior as a root? So the highest effect is not a burden, neither desiring to be rare like a jade, nor solitary like a rock. Returning is how the way progresses. Weakness is how it performs its function. The myriad creatures arise from something, and something arises from nothing. When the best students hears the way, they try zealously to put it into practice. When average students hear the way, it's sometimes here and it's sometimes gone. When the worst students hear the way, they burst out laughing. Not laughing would make it unworthy to be called the way. So the ancient text says, the way that is bright seems dull. The way forward seems to lead back. The smooth way seems rough. The highest virtue seems a valley. The purest whiteness seems stained. Excessive virtue seems defective. Solid virtue seems inactive. Simplicity appears sullied. The great square has no corners. The great vessel takes long to fashion. The great note is soundlessness. The great image has no form. The way hides in namelessness. It is good at giving and perfecting. The way creates one, one creates two, two creates three, three creates every being. All beings carry the yin on their back and embrace the yang in their arms. Their gentleness achieves harmony. Men hate the words abandoned, humble, and unfortunate. Yet rulers call themselves by these names. So these things are sometimes augmented by being diminished, and diminished by addition. I teach what others also teach. The violent won't die a natural death. I adopt this as my basic principle. The softest thing in the world subdues the hardest thing in the world. Non-being enters impenetrable space. This is why I know the power of non-action. Very few people in the world know how to teach without words and profit from non-action. Which is dearer, your fame or yourself? Which is more precious, yourself or possessions? Which is worse, to gain or to lose? So great love leads to great sacrifice. Great riches lead to great losses. Know what is sufficient, and you won't be humbled. Know when to stop, and you'll be free from danger. Then you'll last a long time. A great perfection seems flawed, yet use will not diminish it. Great fullness seems empty, yet use will not exhaust it. Great straightness will seem bent, yet skill will not awkward it. Great eloquence seems stilted. Movement overcomes cold. Stillness overcomes heat. Clear and calm. One can be a ruler of the realm. When the way reigns in the land, horses go back to plowing the fields. When the way does not reign in the land, war horses breed on the frontiers. There's no crime worse than to pander to one's desires. There's no sickness worse than not knowing what is enough. There's no greater catastrophe than the lust for gain. Whoever knows what is enough will be happy with his fate. You can know the universe without leaving your house. You can see the way of heaven without looking out your window. The further you go, the less you know. That's why the wise achieve without moving. Name what is without needing to see it. Accomplish great things without action. In pursuing one's studies, something added each day. In practicing the way, something subtracted each day. It grows less and less until one reaches non-action. When one reaches non-action, nothing is left undone. It's always through not interfering that one can control the realm. Whoever loves to interfere will never control the people. The wise have no fixed opinion. They take the people's opinion as their own. Those who are good, I treat as good. Those who are bad, I treat as good. That's the perfection of goodness. Those who are honest, I treat as honest. Those who are dishonest, I treat as honest. That's the perfection of honesty. Among the people, the wise reserve their opinion and live in harmony with them. The multitudes satisfy their eyes and ears, and the wise treat them as little children. Pursuing life and pursuing death. A third will be followers of life. A third will be followers of death. And a third chase life into the realms of death. Why? Because they want to live to excess. I've heard that those who control their life never counter tigers or rhinos on their travels, are never harmed by weapons when in a fight. There's nowhere for the rhino to plant its horn. There's nowhere for the tiger to set its claw. There's nowhere for the weapon to lodge its blade. Why? Because they've abolished the realm of death. The way creates them. Virtue raises them. Things shape them. Events mature them. So the myriad creatures value the way, and all honor virtue. The way is valued and virtue honored, not by force, but by its nature. So the way creates them and raises them, rears them and nourishes them, develops and matures them, feeds and shelters them. It gives them life without possession. It benefits them, but asks no thanks. It holds, but imposes no authority. Such is the mysterious virtue. All things have an origin. The origin could be called the mother. When you know the mother, you can know the child. And when you know the child, return to clasp the mother. And you'll find no danger to the end of your life. Block up the openings, shut the doors. You'll not fail to the end of your life. Unblock the openings, add to your problems, you'll be beyond help, and to the end of your life. To see the subtle is called discernment. To hold to the weak is called strength. Use discernment, but return to the light. This is called pursuing the constant. If I had a little knowledge, I'd walk the great way, and only fear strained from it. The great way is broad, but people like sidetracks. The court is immaculate, but the fields are full of weeds. The barns are empty, but the rulers are finely dressed. Swords by their sides, gorged with food and drink, owning too much wealth. This is called glorious theft. This is far away from the way. The well-rooted cannot be dislodged. The tightly held will not be lost. Generation after generation worship their ancestors forever. Cultivate it in yourself. Its virtue will be real. Cultivate it in the family. Its virtue will overflow. Cultivate it in the village. Its virtue will extend. Cultivate it in the state. Its virtue will flourish. Cultivate it in the realm. Its virtue will be all-pervasive. Assess the self by considering yourself. Assess the family by considering the family. Assess the village by considering the village. Assess the state by considering the state. Assess the realm of considering the realm. How do I know the realm is like that? By means of this. One who possesses true virtue is like a newborn infant. Poisonous insects won't sting it. Savage creatures won't bite it. Birds of prey won't claw it. Though its bones are weak and its muscles feeble, its grips is still strong. Though it doesn't know about sexual union, its sexual parts are already active. This is because it has perfect vitality. It carries all day without becoming hoarse. This is because it is in perfect harmony. To know this harmony is called the constant. To know the constant is called enlightenment. Fueling the vital spirits is called disastrous. Mind impelling the breath is called violence. The creature that ignores what exists from of old is described as growing and going against the way. What goes against the way will come to a swift end. One who knows does not speak. One who speaks does not know. Block up the openings, shut the doors, blunt the sharp, loose the knots, dim the glare, follow old tracks. This is called mysterious oneness. You can't possess it, but can't escape it. You can't benefit it or harm it. You can't honor it or debase it. It's valued throughout the realm. Govern the state by being honest. Wage war by being clever. Achieve the realm by not meddling. How do I know it is like that? By this. The more regulations, the poorer the people. The more sharp weapons, the more trouble the country. The cleverer the people, the more distractions. The wider the knowledge of law, the more there are thieves and rogues. So the wise say, I take no action, and the people transform themselves. I remain still, and the people set themselves right. I don't interfere, and the people themselves prosper. I am free of desire, and the people of themselves hold to an uncarved block. When the government meanders, the people are straightforward. When the government interferes, the people are cunning. The fortunate leans on the unfortunate. The unfortunate crouches beneath the fortunate. Who knows when to stop? Where is the simple? The simple becomes cunning. The good becomes perverse. The people have certainty, been wrong for a long time. So the wise are foursquare, but not sharp. Have corners, but don't cut. Extend themselves, but spare others. Shine out, but don't glare. In governing the people and serving heaven, moderation is best in a ruler. By being moderate, one starts from the way. Starting from the way, one gains a wealth of virtue. Gaining a wealth of virtue, there is nothing that can't be overcome. When there's nothing that can't be overcome, there's no limitations. When there's no limitations, the realm can be achieved. When the mother of the realm is achieved, one endures. This is called deep roots and a firm stem, through which one acquires long life. Ruling a large state is like boiling a delicate fish. When the realm is governed by the way, malicious influences lose their power. Or rather, they retain their power because the people know harm. Neither they nor the wise cause the people harm. Since neither harms the people, their merit is one and the same. A large state should be the estuary of a river, where all the streams of the world come together. In the coming together of the world, the female overcomes the male by weakness. Being weak, she takes the lower position. So a large state taking the lower position. allies itself with a small state. A small state taking the lower position is allied with a large state. One by taking the lower position allies itself. The other by taking the lower position is allied. All the large state wishes is to join with and nourish the other. All the small state wishes is for its service to be accepted by the other in order to achieve what they wish. The great adopt the lower position. The way is the myriad creature's refuge. It is that which the good extend, and that which defends the bad. Eloquent words can win promotion. Eloquent actions can elevate. Even if a person is bad, should one reject them? When the ruler is installed and the 3 great ministers are appointed through jade discs and 4 horse teams are offered, it's better to grant the gift of the way without stirring from one place. Why was the way valued of old? Was it not said it brought achievement and mitigated the punishment of the guilty? So it was prized by the realm. Do what involves no action. Promote things without meddling. Savor what has no flavor. Make the small great, and the few many. Counter harm with virtue. Tackle the difficult while it is easy. Address the great while it is still small. Difficult things have an easy beginnings. Great things have small beginnings, because the wise never tried to be great. This is how they achieve greatness. Rash promises are rarely fulfilled. Thinking things easy makes them difficult. The wise treat things as if they were difficult, and so are not overcome by difficulties. It's easy to control what is at rest. It's easy to handle what's not yet developed. It's easy to shatter what's still untempered. It's easy to disperse what's still limited. Deal with things before they grow. Manage affairs before they're chaotic. A tree as wide as a man's arms grows from a tiny seed. A tower 9 stories high rises from the pillars of earth. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Whoever meddles with things ruins them. Whoever grasps things loses them. The wise by non-action ruin nothing. By not grasping, they lose nothing. People in their projects fail on the brink of success. Be as careful at the end as the start, and failures will be avoided. So the wise desire to free of desire, and place no value on what is scarce. Learn how to exist without learning, and correct the faults of the many. help all things to conform to nature and avoid the rashness of action. Those of old who were skilled in the way do not use it to enlighten people, but rather to maintain simplicity. When people are difficult, it governs. It's because they become too clever. Governing the state by cleverness is a disaster for the state. Not to govern a state by cleverness is a blessing for the state. There are the givens. To always understand the given is called mysterious virtue. Mysterious virtue is deep and profound. When things return to the given, it returns, and only then are things complete in accord.